Hey, we just gonna go ahead and get started because one, we already 6 minutes late, and two, um, we got two episodes to try to get through, and three, I don't know if the notification went out, so you know how that goes. It's gonna be a slow climb, and it is what it is. So
I mean, I thought you did last week's already.
no.
Oh, well.
Because what had happened was, you weren't available, and neither was Lil Baby. If one of y'all could have done it, I would have done it. But since both y'all, and what my intention was to just go ahead and do a traditional review, upload it, and then just be ready for this week. But that never happened. So, but it's not gonna take long. We're just gonna run it on. We're gonna run. Oh, Abby, you got your notification. Okay, well maybe the notification did go out. What's up, everybody coming in? So, welcome back, everybody. You know, we are here with my wonderful co-host for the live experience that is the Real Housewives of New Jersey. Yocrates is in the building. I need to get like a hand clapping sound bite for y'all.
I don't need it. I'm not that special.
I mean, well, first of all, you are, but second of all, it could be for whenever I have guests on my panel. You know what I'm saying? It could be an all-purpose hand clap.
Okay.
So we have 2 episodes to get you guys through. Last night's episode was not that eventful, so it won't take us that long. And then we'll do a couple of hot topics before we get out of here. Oh, thank you, Yana. One thing I want to say before we get started is yesterday we ran into the Google moderator. Listen, the Google moderator is a real thing. Like Google actually has their own moderators. I believe they're bots, and I believe that they're just programmed to pick up on certain things. I've noticed in other lives that I've been in over the last 24 hours that they have been in a lot of those lives as well. I know they were in El Teddy's live last night. They were in some lives that I was dipping my head in and out today. It seems as though they are deleting links. They're deleting links. You know, people dropping. Hey, what's up, little baby? So it seems like they're deleting links. And it could be, again, it doesn't have to be anything nefarious, but I don't know because I mean, they were deleting, StreamYard links. They were deleting. We know yesterday they were deleting my Avon link. They were deleting when we were trying to drop other YouTubers' links. So it seems like that these bots are just programmed for certain things. I think they swarm once every, however often. And I think they're programmed to look for specific things because they've been in my chat before. And that time they were deleting certain words. It just seems like there were certain words that they were deleting. So I don't know. It just seems to be a program. So it is what it is. I know I'm not doing nothing wrong.
I believe they think external links are spam.
Huh?
I believe the bots are thinking the external links are spam.
Right.
Because they're deleting anything that's external.
Right. And I do know that's one of the things that will get your check, that can get your channel flagged as if someone is spamming. And I do know that's something that they would have to review. If you have too much spam in your chat, I do know that's something that has made people's videos come up yellow rather than green, where it has to be reviewed because, of course, they want to see what's being spammed in the chat. It's supposed to be there as a protection, and it is what it is. Like I said, I know y'all not doing nothing. My mods weren't doing anything that I didn't give them permission to do. Only mods can drop links anyway, so y'all wouldn't be doing anything that I can't give y'all permission to do. So they'll be around for a couple of days, and then they'll either move on to a different section of YouTube or they'll be gone until the next swarm comes through. But it does seem like a lot of the channels that I watch seem to be having the same problem within the last 24 hours. So
yeah,
it's gonna be
picked it up.
Yeah. And like I said, it seems like every however often, I mean, I haven't kept a calendar, so I couldn't tell you the rotation, but it seems like every so often it sort of pops up. So it is what it is, you guys. So thank you for everybody yesterday who was trying to help me get stuff in the chat that I was trying to get in the chat. But we'll make it happen. Listen, there are back doors. We'll put it in the description box. We'll do what we got to do. With that being said, once again, thank you, Yana. Everybody, thank Yana for becoming a member. Yana is one of my loyal ones, my girl. up in Ohio, I believe, right? You up in the Ohio area, I believe. Why I just tell people where you live? My bad. I'm sorry, I was tripping. Anyway, one of my boo things. Moving on. One of my boo things. So thank you, little baby, for being able to join me. I wasn't sure if you could join me today, but thank you for being here. And we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. So
show Liz.
We have 2 episodes to get through. So let's just start at episode 7, which was last Wednesday night. And it was actually called Pineapple Puss.
So there's 2 ways we can do this.
All right.
We can either try to run it in order, or we can run it by characters, and after we knock them out, just hit the big events.
Characters, because it really wasn't nothing.
Well, I'm gonna say this: last night's episode wasn't a lot, and to be honest, the events sort of carry over. So, for example, we could start with the big fight over at Jennifer's house, right? We had the big fight with Jennifer, with her mom and her dad. Jennifer finally has this epiphany. Don't say that.
No, she didn't.
She didn't. Okay, well, let me.
You go ahead, and I'll defend my point, because it was a partial epiphany. It wasn't full.
I was being sarcastic, so I don't know. Maybe you'll pick up on the sarcasm. What I was going to say was she's finally had this epiphany that she understands why her mama mad. And my thing is, I don't know why you ain't understand why your mama was mad before. But then on last night's episode, you had this whole conversation with your daughter, and you were able to perfectly articulate why your mother is angry. So my thing is, how you ain't know or understand before why your mama was so angry? Your mama was 14 years old and was forced to marry a man who was 10 years older than her. And then 3 weeks after the wedding, decided he was moving to America, took her away from her home, her family, and everything she ever knew. And basically, she turned into a baby making factory. Okay. Fast forward. You don't understand why she mad.
I think she just wanted to be a contrarian. I believe she just wanted to stick it to her.
Well, y'all, that's good. I got it wrong, because I really didn't mean to say out loud where I thought you was from. So I'm glad I got it wrong. Sorry, baby. I'm sorry I even said the wrong. I'm sorry I said it at all, but I'm glad it was wrong. But go ahead, y'all. What you were gonna say? Oh, I'm sorry, little baby. I cut you off, and then
the thing about Jennifer and her mother is they've always had a conflicting relationship. She was rebellious. She did do some things the Turkish way, like with her and Bill, their marriage being arranged. But for the most part, she was out and about, sneaking out, drinking, hunching, and doing everything a bad Turkish girl would do. So I just think she was just being an ass for the sake of being an ass. I don't understand how she could not understand how her mother feels.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, well, before I start, if y'all hear any noise in the background, I do have a co-star who is thirsty for attention. I have a pit bull. Her name is Jazz. And
what up, Jazz?
Hey, don't do that. Please don't get us started. Don't get us started. She's right behind the green screen in her cage, just scratching, making noises. Anyway, so the reason why I'm kind of meh with it is because, first and foremost, you have Jennifer, who is on the same wavelength as Dolores and Teresa in the realm of them having this whole traditional mindset. And these traditional mindsets, and this is coming from a man, are very male oriented in a lot of different cultures. So a lot of the times women who are in some of these different demographics tend to have a male identified way of looking at things. So I think that right there is part of the conflict between she and her mother, because you're in a culture that is very male dominant. So your mindset is reflected of that. So if you have a male dominated view, it's kind of hard to see the feminine view of your mother. And then the whole thing of her saying, well, I never seen him abuse you. a lot of the times when it comes to abuse, the kid, now sometimes the kids do see it, but sometimes the kids don't see everything. And then it even having to be, actually, before we even get to the breakdown, why did it take the medium to sit here and try to get you together and tell you that you need to try to be receptive of your mother's feelings?
Hey, Tabitha.
And let her, oh no, go ahead.
No. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So why does it take, granted, it's great that another woman told you that, but why did it take someone you don't know to sit here and tell you to, be on her side? Because here's the reality. Because you've heard me say this issue she has right now is her fault. I got it. Her parents are beefing. You chose to bring your daddy in because you have this male identified, way of thinking. Mm-hmm. You chose to insert yourself into grown folk business. So now you are left to pick up the pieces of something that you didn't have to get involved in. You could let your parents do what they did. And also you can't be Switzerland. It's very easy. Hear what one parent is saying and try to give them some, just baseline advice or whatever, and listen to the other one. Because here's the reality. Two things can be, true at the same exact time. He could think in his mind that he never abused her, and she can believe or even feel, or better yet, she experienced it. So she experienced it. He don't think he did it. But guess what? Those two things can be true at the same time, because in his mind, he ain't do nothing. But rather than you accept that, you're choosing a side in your father. And it takes an outside entity to tell you to not do that. And you're walking around acting as if you don't understand it. And you made it, and you said it perfectly. But the fact that you could convey all of this to your daughter means that you understood.
You understood.
You just didn't care about your mama's feelings.
Right. Because even the part where, hey, Miss T Velocity, thanks for the love. Even the part where she was like, they fought like that when I was a kid, and I used to run to my room crying. And when I saw you do that, it just made me feel really bad that I was exposing you to that, because I never wanted that for y'all. But my thing is this. I think two things. I agree with everything you just said, but two things I'm going to say. One, we've got to get away from having such a literal definition of abuse. That's number one. Mm-hmm. And by her mother even said, when they were arguing, her mother said, no, he never put his hands on me. But
he said he talks to her like shit.
And that's exactly what she said. So we've got to get away from that literal mindset of, well, I never saw him hit you, because he didn't. But he made me feel like shit every day of my life since I was 14 years old.
I'm gonna say two things. One,
thanks for hitting that like button.
Bill even had to let them know, like, this right here is abuse. What's going on right here? Because Bill, now he may not be that a psychiatrist or whatever, but he was able to pick up on it. But the other thing is, I'm sorry, I don't believe that the abuse was just. I believe the abuse was three things, and it might be more: mental, emotional, and financial.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I think that's what it was.
Let me take a quick pause for the cause. Miss T Velocity, it's Juvia's Place. The lipstick is Juvia's Place, and the color is, y'all know I'm blind. The color is metallic. It's Yoko, YOKO metallic, but it's Juvia's Place, which is y'all know how much I love my Juvia's Place. It's a black owned cosmetic company. Y'all know I love my Juvia's Place, honey. All right. But yeah, and so I think that's what we have to do. And again, I'm a firm believer, and maybe because I deal with children all the time, I'm a firm believer in, if you can articulate it, then you freaking understand what I just said. If you can articulate it, and so the fact that you were able to, now granted these were two different episodes, so we're reviewing both at the same time, so mind you, it was a week later, but the fact that you were able to sit down with your daughter and have a whole conversation with your child about what she saw, and you were able to articulate where your mother's anger came from, and we need to cut mom some slack. All that didn't come from the medium. You didn't get that whole epiphany from the medium. You didn't.
No, she already knew
a lot of that. So yeah.
I I do want to say I was very torn with her daughter being there when it sparked off.
Yeah.
And the reason that I was torn because on one hand, you know, again, I don't know how y'all was brought up, but to me that's grown folk conversation. Kids ain't
that's grown folk conversation around
it's grown folk conversation. But on the other hand, I'm glad she was there, and I wish she would have stayed because this right here is the beginning of breaking the generational curse.
That too, I was thinking the same thing. I get grown folks conversations, but at the same time, what we don't do as I don't have kids, but what part of the whole not having kids and grown folks conversation, the other side of that is some kids don't know how to deal with conflict resolution. And some people grow up in environments, they will avoid a situation and avoid a situation and avoid a situation and learn to basically deal with something that shouldn't be dealt with.
And also with the daughter being there, it literally, you get two parallels because from what we understand, Bill and Jen don't argue like that. But now you have your mother's parents doing this. And that's one of those where, you know, it's in the subconscious of her seeing it like, this is destructive. I don't like this. I don't want that in my life. Because it's one thing to tell us, you know, tell someone something. It's another thing for them to witness it. So though part of me didn't want her there for, the other part of me is like, you need to see this. So you cannot, because again, y'all in a whole new country. You don't have to keep these norms going. So you don't have to deal with this if you don't want to.
I hear what y'all are saying, but I disagree with part of what you're saying. I grew up in that type of household. I never saw my parents argue. And I can tell you, and to this day, it's like the family joke that I have seen my parents get into a argument one time. And that's included, like, now I'm grown. Now I've seen them disagree. I can tell when my mama irritated with my daddy. I can tell when my daddy irritated with my mama. But when they disagree, especially if it was something dealing with us, they went in their room, they closed the door, and they handled how they needed to handle it. Now, I feel like, one, I'm cool with that because I don't feel like the children should be involved in grown folks' business. Two, I'm cool with that because I feel like that teaches this is how adults handle like. But the flip side, I see y'all's point to say then we don't learn how to argue. So I see the flip side of that. But I mean, I just grew up in that household, and I've seen the flip side where I've been around some of my friends who they don't care what they say in front of in front of anybody. They talk to their significant other crazy, and it makes me cringe because I'm like, damn, you ain't have to do that in front of all of us, you know what I'm saying? But
yeah, I get it. It's again, it's a way to handle things. We just need to
say that there weren't times when they disagree with each other, but I'm talking about like straight up fighting. Like there's only been
I
one.
wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want a child to experience that because that's how they learn how to handle conflict.
Yeah, I just don't. And listen, I never forget that one because we was in the middle of Beverly Hills. We was driving through Beverly Hills. Listen, we listen. Okay, that's gonna be a whole long story. Make a long story short, we was in California on family vacation, and my mom, you know, everything is a hustle. So we bought the house. This is before GPS, y'all. Okay, this when I was like, I don't know, I was probably 13, 14. Before GPS, you had to read a map, and my mom knew how to read a map.
Were you reading the map or were you map questing it? Which one?
No. I wasn't even. We weren't even map questing it back then. You were reading a map.
Yeah, I know about latitude.
My mom knows how to read a map because growing up, we drove everywhere. We camped. My friends used to call us the White Brady Bunch, child, because we had a camper. And we would like. Sometimes it would be me and 2 or 3 other black families. We'd be the only black folk in the campground, right? Like that's how I've seen this whole United States, but never stayed in a hotel until I was in high school. But I'd seen the whole United States, continental U.S., been there. But we were in LA. So I say what I have to say. My mother knows how to read a map. So the first map we looked at, my mom looked at the map. She understood it. She could read it with no problem. But the little boy had hustled her into buying the more expensive map that she couldn't read. And my dad told her that's a hustle. He's hustling you. But she bought the more expensive map, feeling sorry for him, talking about it was his first day on the job, and he had to sell a certain number of maps to meet his quota, and hustled her, right? So fast forward to us going through, now mind you, it's a van full of black folk riding through Beverly Hills. Lost. And my mother couldn't read this map, but she knew that she was going to have to admit to my daddy that she had got hustled. So he tried to read this map. And he said, you can't read it, can you? You can't read the map, can you? And anyway, it erupted into this huge argument to the point my daddy stopped that van in the middle of the street. Because my mother was like, well, fine, you think you can do a better job? My daddy stopped that van in the middle of the street, got out, told my mama to drive so he could read the map. And after about 15 minutes, my daddy said, let's go to the beach. Because he couldn't read the damn map either. And we in the back seat, me, my brother, and my sister was in the back seat like, are mommy and daddy going to get divorced? Like, that's how bad it got. And to this day, that is like a family joke. We always bring that argument up because that's the only time I have ever seen my parents talk. And they still didn't call each other out their name or nothing. It didn't get like, they didn't call each other out their name, but it was bad. Like, when my daddy stopped that car in the middle of the street and got out, I was like, oh shit, y'all. He about to... Anyway, sidebar. Woo,
okay.
I say all that to say, I'd never seen it. But anyway, we say all that to say, Jennifer, you knew what the hell you knew your mama was suffering, and because you a daddy's girl, or you chose, like you said, you chose a side, it is what it is. Okay. All right, moving on. We spent a lot of time on that one story.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, and one last thing I'll say is, you heard me say I didn't care for this storyline because it's not that it's made up. It's you're inserting yourself in something you don't need to insert yourself into. But I can at least say, I'm man enough to say I can appreciate the teachable moment. Not necessarily when it comes to Aiden and Jen, but when it comes to the daughter. That's about the only good thing. But again, it's just like you bring... Here, I'm going to keep it all the way 1,000 with you. I'm not bringing nothing chaotic into my dwelling place.
Yeah.
Let me be very clear about that. I'm not bringing anything chaotic. And now, mind you, I've always said my mother will never be in a home. But at the same exact time, if I ain't finna put you in a home, I'm gonna put you up someplace. Because if I know you finna bring some mess in here, I'll go ahead and I'll rent you out an apartment.
Right. I'll get you somewhere to live.
I'm out, and I know
I didn't understand. Because what I noticed from a lot of older people, when they get to a certain age, a lot of them, if they don't have a big enough home to have their own room, they get another house. So I didn't understand why Jennifer just didn't get her father another house. Like he didn't have to come there to live with her.
Not even that. They got a guest. Don't they got like a bathhouse or a guest house?
That monstrosity. He probably has his own suite or something. Like
y'all don't have to be up under each other.
I don't know. Well, I don't know. All right, so that was that. Now we had Melissa.
I don't care.
What we had Melissa.
Little baby, you and Really B can talk about that. I ain't got nothing to say.
Melissa, Marge, and what's the other one? The one whose husband that Teresa was talking about. Jackie. The three of them went out to lunch, and the only thing that really came out of this was Marge letting us know that she was going to do a book reading, and once again telling us about how her mama won't there for her, and her mother told her to use sex to get ahead, and that sex was going to get her what she wanted from men. And we heard Melissa talk about Joe, and they were like, well, you were young when you married him, and yada, 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 booda, 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 bada, bada, bada. If you got anything to add to that, little baby, go for it. If not, we're going to move on.
I mean, I really don't. Marge is writing a book about her life.
Yeah. The only other thing that sort of came out was we have these hints of Teresa having a boyfriend. That's it. But go ahead.
I only got one thing. All right, so look, and this is some real shit. Granted, I ain't married, nothing like that. But we all have to realize that we are constantly changing, second to second, moment to moment, day to day, whatever, whatever. If you get into a unionship such as a marriage, I love the whole renewing of vows things because you're acknowledging the fact that we are now two different people 1 year later, 2 years later. We're becoming different people. We have to now relearn each other because things are changing. Or with the woman, I'm going from being dependent upon you to finding my freedom, figuring out what I do and what I don't like. Mind you, their storyline is bullshit. But what I am saying is, if y'all take anything from this, the bullshit storyline that exists here is if you're in a situation, whether it's, just boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage or whatever, y'all need to every couple of years recommit to each other because you're constantly changing. Everything about you, what you like to eat changes, what you like to wear changes, everything. And y'all have to come together and relearn the other person and accept that new person. Because if you're still holding on to back in 1992, motherfucker, we are in 2021. I'm gonna need for you to sit here and catch up with the times. That's all I got. Who else we got?
Moving on. We see Dolores talking to her need-to-be husband Frank about her needing to get a mammogram and how she didn't want to tell nobody, and he was like, "Yeah, you need to go take care of that." And yeah, that was it. The only reason why I bring that up is because in this week's episode, we see her talking to her son, and her son is like, "But I'm not understanding why I'm just hearing about this." So you finally got a mammogram after however many years. I think she said like 5 years. Now they're saying that there's something abnormal with it, and they might have to do a biopsy. Why am I just hearing about this? Like, this isn't gossip. This isn't something you talk to your girlfriends about. I'm your child, and this is not how I want to hear about these things. And I 100% understand because my mama is the queen of, "Oh, I thought I told you." Surgery? That's what you thought? You thought we had a conversation about you having surgery? Like, literally, my mom has like had surgery scheduled, and she'd be like, "Oh, I thought I told you." What do you mean you thought? At what point did you think we had that conversation?
Oh, but I do understand why Dolores didn't do it. I understand it where it's just like, this is something major. So if I didn't told you, I'm already worrying. Now you over here worrying, which is going to cause my anxiety to go through the roof. So I understood why she did. And here's the other thing. I can't really speak that much for my mother, but my father is the king of, you don't know what the fuck was going on with him. God rest his soul. Because he had ailments that I just recently got his medical records that I need to scrub through. But he wouldn't tell you nothing.
My dad.
But again, my father was born in 49. So that mentality of the macho man where I'm strong. I don't have to go to, to the hospital. So you don't know nothing. So I get it.
That's my daddy. He just go to the doctor. He come back with pills. I'm like, oh, okay.
Don't tell you what the pills for, how many to take. They just pills.
Yeah. I don't know nothing.
Yeah. But that's pretty much that. So Teresa's having, I mean, she called it something else, but it seemed to be like a medium type situation. She's having reading done for the ladies. Listen. Only two interesting things for me. I'll let y'all talk about it, but for me, only two interesting things came out of this reading. Because let me say this. I do believe that there are people who have a gift. I believe that. I don't believe that everybody that professes to have a gift has it, but I do believe that there are people who do. Now, but what I also understand is that a lot of these people use the most inept, minute detail that you may not be paying attention to and are able to zone in on all of that information and give you a quote unquote reading. So the fact that these women have exposed their whole life to the world, some longer than others, everybody is Googleable. Yes, I said Googleable.
Exactly.
The fact I'm not, I mean, again, and I'm not taking nothing away from this woman. I don't know that woman from a hole in the wall, but what I'm not getting ready to do is give her all of this credit that she was so in tune with these women.
Me
You
either.
said that Teresa got a boyfriend. Okay. You had a 50-50 chance
that all day.
right? I mean, you had a 50-50 chance of getting that one right. The one thing that I thought was funny was about Dolores. When the woman told Dolores that her relationship was going nowhere and that it was doomed to fail, and she was just like, "Oh, okay." And when that woman started talking about her dog, she fell out in tears. Like it was the most. I was like, "Oh, so we get more of emotion from you over the dog than your boyfriend." That tell me all I need to know. That tell me all I need to know.
For those that are pet lovers. Like you have to understand, especially when it comes to dog. I can't say cat.
No, I get the pet lover part. What I'm saying is, I need you to have the woman just told you that your relationship was doomed to fail, and your reaction was, "Okay, all
right, cool."
But
you just didn't give a damn.
No, but she knew that if you paid attention, how whenever because it was at one point she was naming off all the redeeming qualities of David. But never once did love come up.
Right.
He's stable. He has this. He can do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And you have a lot of people, and it's not just women. Men do the same thing, where it's just like, okay, this person has all these qualities. They may not be the qualities that I desire, but they're sustainable. They'll make a good partner, so I can deal with. So I'm pretty sure she already knew. I was surprised because, and thing is, the medium said, because they was like, "Well, is it doomed to fail? Like, is it?" And she said, "If she wants to know, I will tell her." Right. I'm shocked. She said, "Let me know." I was shocked, like, "Oh, you wanted to know?" Okay.
Yeah. So that and the history nerd in me was like when they were talking about Jennifer's past with her uncle, who was part of the resistance during the Armenian genocide. I was like, oh wow, like I want to Google him. But that was just the history nerd in me that cared. I mean, that was just the history nerd in me. But other than that, did you guys walk away from anything from the reading that made you go, wow?
Nope. Everything you could find on Google, some old episodes, stuff they fed to production. It really wasn't.
Right. What about Michelle? Who was Michelle? Am I missing somebody?
Realtor. Realtor.
What about her?
I guess they want to know. I guess they're asking what we felt about her reading.
I don't even remember what it was. What was her reading?
Look, she ain't a cast member. So next.
I'm not being funny. I just don't even remember what it was. Like, what did
I don't either. But again, she ain't a cast member. So why do I care what her reading was? No offense to the person that asked it, but you not a cast member. I don't care. That's her
only purpose on this show was to try to start something that didn't go nowhere. Because
it's obvious she was trying to get a what do they have for Jersey? Flute? No, they don't have flutes. They don't have whatever it was she was trying to get. She was trying to get that thing.
An orange?
I thought that was is that Orange County?
Oh, yeah, Orange County. Oh.
All I'm saying is
I don't know what Garden State has.
But she was trying
I don't think they hold anything.
And this is one thing you'll see with a lot of reality TV shows where you'll see a person constantly throughout the season because they were trying them out, like what is it, Demetria McKinney from Housewives? I think it was season 7. We saw her a lot because she was auditioning and she never got her peach, but she was in enough like scenes where she, like, if you took her out the scene, it didn't make sense. So that's why we saw her a lot. So that's probably why we saw Michelle. It was a cast scene. They had it there and they were trying it out. And obviously she ain't do enough to get her spot on the show.
Oh, you said that her reading wasn't available. Why? Because she's new to the show? That don't mean nothing. First of all, Michelle is very public. She's what they say, the top realtor in New Jersey. She's Googleable as well. And production has all that information. Do you know how much information you got to give to these people for them to vet you? Again, I'm not saying this woman doesn't have a psychic ability. I'm just saying I wasn't impressed because I know so much of what she shared wasn't that deep. That's just me. But anyway, I got curious and looked up what all the housewives of each franchise hold in the promo. Never found anything for Jersey. Okay, see,
All right.
Jersey doesn't hold anything.
well, they don't
But
have
they, wait, but they hips.
Yeah, they hold
That's
it.
about it.
But yeah, no, I hear what you're saying though about Michelle. I hear what you're saying, but that's my only thing. Like, I just, and again, I know that people who do that type of work, again, that doesn't mean that everybody that's in it ain't legit. I just wasn't impressed by her reading based on the fact that you ain't tell me nothing I didn't know. Jersey holds grudges. That's cute. Jersey holds grudges. All right. Okay, so next we have Jackie. I got it right. Jackie and her family are having, was it Passover?
No, it was Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year.
The Jewish New Year, thank you. Rosh Hashanah. How do I say this nicely?
You don't care?
Nope, that's not what I was gonna say. I feel like that was just done for a scene. You went through all of this and then said, well, we don't really celebrate this, but
I'm like,
okay, wait.
That was odd.
I do want to tackle this really quickly.
Well, please do.
Because you're
Jewish, so give us your point of view.
Yeah, no, the thing is, like, you have, the religious / spiritual Jews, then you have those that are just not, where, it's the identity, but they don't really fall into it. But there's two holidays that you will typically see. Because here's the thing, what a lot of people don't realize is, for us, Shabbat is at home.
Right.
So
that's Friday nights though, right?
Yeah. So you won't.
I've been to Shabbat dinner before.
But you won't always see a whole lot of people at the synagogue.
Okay, I got you.
I mean, you like when I was in Alabama, I would go and then go back to my Bears, do my little thing, and then that was it for the night. But it's like, but there's two holidays, and literally they're back to back, because you have Rosh Hashanah, and then you have the 10 days of repentance, then you have Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah are the two holidays where, let's just say, for instance, if every Shabbat is maybe only 10 people in there, those two holidays, that whole thing it's like Easter for most Christians.
Right. It's full.
Everybody in there.
Everybody there, yeah.
Everybody in there. So that's there is some significance to it. I wish they would have dug a little bit deeper, but I'm not mad at them for doing it, because again, you have some people that they just don't do all the religious stuff, which is fine. I'm
not mad at them for showing it to us, honestly, because again, the nerd in me likes to learn. So I'm not mad at them for doing it. We got a lot of, hey, Jaded, we got a lot of explanation for different things. Her mom shared some stuff that I appreciate the learning moment. I'm being honest, I did. But then there was a part of me that was like, I feel like, let me use it like this. I tell my students this all the time. My students will give me a whole paragraph and the answer will be correct. It'll be on point. I'll be like, yes, oh my goodness. And then I'll get to the last sentence and it'll say, or something like that. And I'll be like, you have just erased your whole correct answer with, or something like that. And so I felt like I would rather her have just given us that scene and not said, well, we don't really do this, but just don't do it. Just give us the moment. Just give us
what I would have liked is see Bravo and Jackie. I want to talk to y'all for a second. Because y'all
full screen because you have the Jewish representation.
No, because I'm not gonna go all the way off. It's just y'all had me fucked up.
Oh,
because again, Rosh Hashanah, yes, it's the Jewish New Year. Things are starting over. But what would have been very beautiful is had we at least seen her on one of the 10 days of repentance. And I'll give y'all a little history lesson right quick.
Okay.
So when it comes to
I'll be fixing my fish for the oven.
So when it comes to, Jews, let's say, for instance, if I came over to your house and slapped your niece and walked off, I can't pray to God to be like, you know what, God, forgive me for slapping her niece. God cannot forgive me. I'm just saying, but God can't forgive that sin. You and your niece would have to release from that sin. And that's a big difference between Christianity and Judaism, is if I sin against God by breaking one of his tenets, I can repent for that. And that's during Yom Kippur. But if you sin against someone within the calendar year, those 10 days of repentance is for you to go to those people that you've sinned against. And you have to literally, honestly, ask them to relieve you, ask them to forgive you. And it's not to say that look, she did some shit to Teresa. It is what it is, as minute as it is. But it would have been nice to see Jackie go to Teresa and extend some type of an olive branch and be like, you know what? Last year I did say some things that probably wasn't appropriate. Whoop, whoop, boom, boom. That would have been beautiful to have, because it would have led to the holiday.
Okay, I could see that. It would have put it in. Okay. And again, just because, and that doesn't, we know that there's no person that is a perfect representation. We are all human. We make mistakes. So I'm not trying to put her on a pedestal and that she had to carry the mantle for the whole Jewish faith. But I just felt like by her throwing in at the end, we don't really do this. To me, it sort of took away some of it as a viewer, because I was like, I need to know that. I could just like, we could just act like this how you roll. You know?
No, I would have appreciated if she said they were Reformed Jews, meaning that they're not the strictest, because there was even a joke about bacon or pork between Evan and
I saw that.
So and again, I understood it, but it's like some of that. If you gonna say it, y'all need to put some context in there. But yeah, I mean, it's just elements of that I would have. I guess me being Jewish, I would have appreciated. And especially for those who know nothing about Judaism, because all they know is, okay, so it's a Jewish New Year. Okay, cool. Okay, you dip, honey. You dip apples and challah in honey for a sweet New Year. Okay, cool. That's all that people took from it. Where it's like you could have dug just a little bit deeper. So, but just it's whatever.
Listen, I ain't mad about it. I appreciate that, because that was how I went to my first Seder. I was taking a class with a Jewish woman, and we got to talking about, the Jewish faith, and like it was a short class. It was like a little summer class that I took a few years ago. And she said, listen, we have Sabbat every Friday at my house. Why don't you come through? And I was like, and I went, and it was nice. It was an experience. I had to Google some things, make sure I didn't, I didn't want to be out of protocol. I didn't want to be rude or nothing, but it was an experience. And I'm glad she invited me, and I'm glad I went. I mean, we didn't become like, lifelong friends or anything like that. So it's not like I've been a million times, but it was definitely something that I appreciated having the experience. So. Okay, so now we're on to episode 8 now. Some of this stuff has already overlapped, so it's not going to take us that long to get through the episode. So the first thing we see is Teresa is ready to talk about the boyfriend. I don't think any of us care. I don't care that Teresa has a boyfriend.
I don't either.
Okay, we see her kids. Basically, her kids are telling her and the husband, it's okay for you to have a boyfriend. It's okay for dad to have a girlfriend. Let's all move on because we don't care. And can I say, okay, I know I might sound... I don't know how I'm going to sound when I say this. Y'all, I have such a problem when I see kids that cuss around their parents like this. Like, the oldest daughter, who I understand is in college, I get it. Like, she was straight up cussing in front of her mom. Like, and I don't mean like damn and hell. I mean, she was like, F this. And I was like, and as somebody who's grown and still don't curse in front of their parents, like, I don't know. It just do something to me when I see it. It just does something to me.
Well, when it comes to the cursing thing, my mother and I, we've had to have a conversation, because again, 11 years in the military, I do have a mouth on me, because she tried to hold, well, you're not supposed to cuss around me. I'm like, why? Because I'm your mother. I'm like, I'm sorry, it doesn't work the way. Now, what you can say is, I would appreciate it if you don't speak like this around me, because my thing to her is we're both grown. I'm not hard to talk to, so if that is a request, I'll honor it. Because again,
and I hear you, but I'm saying for me.
No, I get it.
There's no disrespect to you. I'm saying for me, my mother didn't have to tell me that. But that's me though. My mother, like I've been cursing since I was a child.
Me too.
But my mama never had to say, don't curse around me, because I just never did it. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the caveat to that, though. I understand what you're saying, because I would just share my experience. But think about who the mother is. Think about who the father is. And mind you, you haven't seen the previous seasons, but all of what was said around these children, it was inevitable. Now, and also, Teresa never set boundaries with her children.
That's the difference, because it's not, again, I'm old school. I was raised old school, because it's not what you did in front of them. It's what boundaries you set. Because now, again, my parents did not curse in front of me. That was not something that they did. I'm not saying they didn't slip up every now and again. I know that my daddy cursed, because he would catch himself. And when I say that my daddy could hold like he could hold it, because he'd be like, damn, I'm about to curse. But there were boundaries and the expectation. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't think it's so much what they did in front of their kids. I think it's the boundaries. But I hear you. Though. It's just me.
No. There were no boundaries. Like, it would be times she would take them out in public. They cutting up, tearing stuff off, racks and stuff. Like, there was no boundaries, and she would pacify them with material things. So these are monsters that she helped to breed. So,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not, it's just me. Because I'm gonna tell you who they're gonna need to not look out for is
Melania?
That baby girl of Jennifer's.
Ooh.
Yeah, she's a whole, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but we all over the place anyway. So listen, when they had that Turkish tea at the end, and that girl came downstairs in that dress and she went out of her way to be seen, because she wanted her mother to see her in that lipstick. And her mother didn't notice at first. I mean, she went around the room hugging everybody and she wanted her mother. And the minute her mother said, "You have on red lipstick," she said, "I'm just trying to be like you." And it was almost you wear red lipstick. I would have popped her in her mouth, because I'm the adult. You don't get to what?
Oh, no.
And she was talking to her about going to school.
Yeah, and sassed the hell out of her. I was like,
she's sassy. She's real sassy. But did you hear what she said? "I like your shoes," and she was like, "They're Michael Kors." I said, "I know that's right." I know. But yeah, she's a handful. She's a handful.
And not even that. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it was her where last season, Jen had took a trip. I guess her first trip away from all her children, and the youngest, who I would assume is the sassy one, cut up so bad to where the mom's just like, "You know what? I'll bring you a gift back. What do you want?" And once she said that, the girl stopped crying. "I want this," and the daddy is sitting there looking just like, "I know the fuck you did it." So look, she's another one where the kids got a hold on her.
Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. Okay, so let's get through, because we almost done. Because like I said, we've been all over the place.
Yeah.
So in this episode, Marge is doing the reading on the yacht. From the excerpt from her book. Now listen, I know that this was done for the purposes of the show and having a scene. Like, I get all of that. But did they edit that down? Because I feel like she read 3 whole paragraphs scene. And I was like, that's it? That's all? Like, we ain't even going to get a whole chapter? And I know they can't show all of that, but I felt like, I was like, what?
No, they edited down for the sake of them having that moment between her and Jen.
Which was a good moment, because that showed selective hearing. Because for you to get the first time around that Marge said it, that Marge wanted to sleep with her boss, and she was just, I don't know how you got that the first time around. Now, that's what you wanted to hear, because that's not what Marge said. Now, she gave you more detail this in her book, which obviously you would get more detail in the book. But what made you think? No, you just felt like shit after she read that part of the book and felt like, okay, damn, I guess I better apologize. Yeah, that ghostwriter is making money, because she ghost wrote Teresa's book.
Yeah.
So anything with that scene for you, y'all?
I mean, part of me wants to give Jennifer kudos for being woman enough to say, you know what, my bad, I was wrong. But guess what? I can't. Because in previous seasons, that has always been something that Jennifer does. She says or she does something that is inappropriate, is brought to her attention, and now it's okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
And it's almost like a Brandy, what is it, Glanville?
Oh my gosh, I cannot stand Brandy.
It's sort of kind of like that, where it's just like, you do something, oh, I'm sorry. You do something else, oh, I'm sorry. And I understand we all make mistakes, but God damn it, how many times are you gonna be sorry? To quote Janet Jackson from I believe it was Why Did I Get Married To, or it might have been for Color Girls, where she said, I got sorry, meet me at the front door. I don't need yours. I was like, oh, damn. That was a word. I forget which movie it was.
You better tell it. I got sorry, meet me at the front door. So but yeah, and I'm glad that Marge kind of didn't let her off the hook, because you didn't. What you said was bullshit. Because Marge was very clear that she was writing her book to empower women who felt like they didn't have a voice, and to let them know that it's not okay and that they don't have to sleep their way. Like nobody, for Color Girls, okay, nobody. There was nothing in what she said that gave the impression that she thought that sleeping with her boss was a cool situation and that's how she got ahead. Like she never. No.
I would have appreciated Jennifer had she said, you know what? Thank you for the clarity, because obviously I misconstrued something. But to be completely honest, I felt as if you were coming for me. So the first chance that I got, I threw it back. That I would have been like, you know what? Okay, cool. Because you're being very forthcoming. Like, I thought you was coming for me, so I threw that out as a dig. Rather than, oh, I didn't know. You're lying.
Right.
You're lying. Right.
And of course, then that segued into her inviting everybody to her house for the Turkish tea to try to make her mom feel good because of what's going on between her mom, whatever. Teresa comes clean about having a boyfriend that nobody gives a damn about. Which she's still lying. I don't care. She lying about how she met him. She lying. She lying. That whole story about walking along the shore and him. That's a lie. That is a whole lie.
Because if she see a man jump up and down like that, she's like, oh, like little schoolgirls. You would have been like, yeah, you don't have the level of testosterone that I need. Let me move to the next. Like, I don't believe you, Teresa.
That whole story was a lie. Like, I don't know how she met him, and that's fine. I don't need to know. That's your business. That ain't how you met him. Now, I'm not gonna go too far into other things right now, but word on the curb is that, you know, his name is out there, and you know, other bloggers are already picking up on some of his business. So I'm sure it'll be out there about that, you know, whether he's shiesty or not or whatever. Y'all know how they do. Y'all know how they do.
Well, this shows you that Teresa has not done the work. Mind you, I don't like her, but she hasn't done the work on herself, because again, you attract certain energies to you. It's really just that simple. You attract certain energies. So the fact that you go from one person who was a scammer / swindler, and now you find yourself in the company of somebody else. But all Teresa wanted somebody where she could be like, can I get you American Express? That's all she wants. She wants to be pampered. That's it. So if she has to find somebody crooked, that's what she's gonna do.
Hell, I want to be pampered too, but I don't want to go to jail for the pleasure. Moving on.
look, while you playing, she might end up back in prison.
Yeah, because I'm sure she's on some sort of papers. Like, I'm sure she's on some sort of papers. But then again, she might not be child. I don't know. So
no, she is. Because when Jackie said what Jackie said, even though I don't really think Teresa got hands, that would have been the perfect time for Teresa to put her hands on Jackie when she brought up Gia. So that leads me to believe you still on pro baby.
You know what?
And you can't do nothing right now.
You know what? That makes sense, because a lot of people brought that up earlier this season, was like, why, you know, Teresa, they were so surprised that Teresa walked away. But that may very well have something to do with why Teresa walked away from that situation so easily. Either she's on probation on papers or she on probation at Bravo. No, I don't think so. No,
but let's also remember, and I partially would be upset if this happened, but I don't care if Jackie knows how to fight or not, because she knows how to fight in court. But I will be upset if it went there, because we already had this happen on Potomac. It felt like we were going that way on Atlanta. And now, you know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, when we start dealing with the courts, that takes the whole reality TV portion out of it. Because it's like, so y'all can't handle y'all difference. Y'all got to take it straight to the court. But in Jackie's defense, if I was Jackie, it's just like, oh, I'm gonna bury your ass. Oh, you put your hands off to bury you.
And I'm gonna be honest,
make your life a living hell.
Quiet as this kept. Not to go left, because we're not gonna go down that road today. But quiet as it's kept, and I really think that situation, it may have brought in great ratings last season, but I really think that's in the long run going to hurt the Potomac franchise, because they're going to miss something with Monique. Whether you like her or not, you miss something with Monique. Whether you like Monique or not. But anyway, I ain't going down that road today. Moving on.
Yeah, let's not. I'm about to say, I think the only thing we got left is Birds and the Bees talking. That was so trash. I don't even think that's. Oh no, we still got.
Okay, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. So we went past, you know, Melissa talking to Jackie. We don't care, because you still talking about your husband, not understanding that you're different. We don't care. We have Marge talking to Big Marge. We don't care, because I feel like they've had that conversation before. She read the book
many times.
Right, she read the book, and she was like, "You never told me about, you know, the situation with your boss and yada yada yada." Booda booda.
But you know what? One thing I'll say about that though is that seems very indicative of a certain time frame and of a certain demographic. Because I'll be honest, I really do feel like a lot of baby boomers, it's hard for children who are at Generation X and Y to communicate with them, because of how hard of an exterior some of them have. And it's certain things where you really just don't want to open up about. And then, of course, many of us, we're just dealing with our parents. It's certain skeletons you don't want to let out. Like, I'll be completely honest with you. And I'm not going to go all the way down that rabbit hole. I'll save it for next month, which is mental health awareness. But I've already told this story on my channel. At the age of 13, nope, lies. At the age of 10, I contemplated suicide. And I was suicidal from age 10 to 13. Because we lost the pillars of our family. Grandma and grandfather was right before Thanksgiving. Grandma was right after Christmas, same year.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And literally that happened. The fabric was torn. They owned 2 apartment buildings, and my mother inherited. Everybody dispersed. I was by myself. I was actually in one school, moved to a different one to be with my first cousin.
Oh wow!
His mother had already passed. The grandparents didn't went, so then he didn't move. So it was a whole lot. My mother did not know that I was suicidal until I want to say 2014. And I was suicidal from 1996 about a good 1999.
Oh wow. Well, I'm glad you're here with us.
Thank you. But what I'm saying is it took a long time.
What you'll share next month.
But it took a long time for me to even share that with her. One, because I didn't know how she would react to it. And also it's like, well, she lost her mother and her father. So it's almost like her feelings kind of trump mine right now. But it was just no one ever was like, hey, yeah, how you feel? Nothing. So I just felt alone with my thoughts, and yeah. But what I'm saying is, and when I tell you my mother didn't know, my mother was the first to find out. Other people didn't find out until 2016. That goes show you how long I held on to that.
Yeah.
So sometimes there are dark parts that we all have where we didn't want to open up about it because we don't know how it's going to happen. Then the other thing is, my family loves to gossip. So rather than me getting help, it would have turned into, girl, let me tell you what Rail just told me, girl. it would have been one of those where rather than me being helped, I'm being talked about and condemned, which probably would have sent me over the ledge. So I can understand why she didn't reveal certain things to her mother, because sometimes it's hard. And when you're in the thick of it, you don't want to hear anything that is going to push you off. So I understand.
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. I don't even know how to segue out of that one, but okay. I don't want to get sensitive, but segue. Well, let's go into something simple. Melissa taking her daughter on a shopping spree to talk to her about sex. Let me say,
but not to talk about that.
Well, let me say how I feel about that, and then we can move on if y'all don't have nothing to add. This is an example of everything doesn't need to be for the show. If you sincerely were concerned about your daughter engaging in sex, and you sincerely were concerned about you not talking to your daughter about sex because your mother didn't do it, then putting her on TV to talk about sex, I don't think was the right move. And your daughter said, I'm not talking about that. And what I translated in that was, I'm not talking about that with this camera in my face. She was like, I'm not talking about it. Her face turned red. Her whole affect changed. And I feel like that was, I'm not talking about this on camera. And again, your daughter is old enough that you could have had a conversation with her in private and said, now look, girl, you know we get paid for this show. We need to have a little conversation. We got to make it look good for the camera, and we're going to move on. I really feel like the daughter's old enough that she could have done that. Like, look, we had our serious conversation, and we're going to go down here, and we're going to put on a show for the cameras. Just say you ain't having sex with your boyfriend, and we moving on. But that was, wow.
But no, that conversation shouldn't have even been that. The conversation should have been her letting her know that it's okay for you to do what it is that you want to do. I'm not going to shame you. And whatever you choose to do, just use protection. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'm here.
I get it.
Now, there's more that could have been said, but it's just like, and here's the other thing, like, so you ain't have no game plan when you went to talk to your daughter?
Yeah, because that was just not a conversation all the way around.
She was all over the place. That's why I was just like, look, all I'm gonna say is this: Melissa then showed up to work, I want to say one time this whole damn season, and I'm really getting tired of her. Look, Dolores then showed up to work more than Melissa.
Listen. So, anything you want to add, little baby, before because we almost done. We at the tea now. We're gonna wrap it up in a minute. Anything you want to add about the awkward sex conversation?
Yeah, I really didn't pay attention, so I didn't even know it was a sex conversation. I just figured that she wanted to remind people she had that boutique.
I feel like that was part of it. Because the conversation was just awkward as hell. And like I said, her daughter's reaction immediately let me know, oh, this is about to get ugly. She was like, I'm not talking. The minute she said, you still have your boyfriend, her daughter was like, I'm not talking about that. And again, before it even went to sex, she was like, I'm not talking about that, which made me think, she was like, I'm not doing this on camera. Like, we're not talking about this, you know? That's how I took it. Well, yeah, we know that, Morgan. They don't care about, and some things I'm fine with it being for the camera, but there are some things that I just, anyway.
I just want to say this.
Birthday parties and things like that. Okay, fine. We're here for all of that for the kids. But there's some things that I just
Melissa is giving me very Drew Fedora from Real Housewives.
Oh Lord, not Drew Fedora.
The fact that you willing to sit here and sell out your marriage and your children for a damn check. You can't even pick a storyline and stick with it. Because you see how quick they done wrapped up the bullshit storyline between her and Joe, how quick that wrapped up. Oh, now I'm gonna talk to my daughter. You see how quick this got wrapped up? Okay, let's go ahead and talk
All I
about.
know is the season is almost over because they shot the reunion.
Yeah, the reunion. Yeah, they did the reunion. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We have the reunion for them and Dallas. They did the reunion for the reunion looks for Dallas came out too. It looks like Brandy didn't. I mean, sidebar. It looks like Brandy didn't go to the reunion.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, Brandy's leaving the show.
I'll be right back.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Brandy's leaving the show, and you know, Brandy's like legit had a lot going on. You can tell in her confessionals that she's pregnant. So she got pregnant at the end of filming. Well, she was probably pregnant during filming, and we just didn't know. But she got pregnant, so she went during her confessional. She's clearly pregnant, and then you know there was that really bad car accident where her daughter and her mother-in-law was killed, and her daughter was seriously injured. I think the oldest daughter. So she's had that's on top of the whole racism scandal. She's had a lot, and then you know a tape surfaced. It's an old videotape, but it's a tape of her husband looking like he's cheating on her down to the Vegas. But it's an old video. Like the video's a couple of years old, but it surfaced. Maybe I forgot to talk about it on here because not enough people really watch Dallas. But it surfaced maybe about a month or so ago. I saw it on the blogs, and they were like, "Oh, you know, Brandy's, you know, husband cheating scandal." But then when I saw that the video was like from 2 years ago, I was like, okay, so clearly this is something that's already been addressed in her home. Like we're just finding out about it. It ain't new. So she's had a lot going on. So she's leaving the show. So I don't know if that's why she didn't come to the reunion. I don't know if she didn't come to the reunion because she just had the baby or if she's that far along in her pregnancy. Because I don't know where she is in the pregnancy. So I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, it looks like she didn't go to the reunion. Neither here nor there. Last but not least, we got the Turkish tea.
Which looked delightful.
Listen, that spread that her and her mama put together. Now, I don't know how much of that her and her mama did and how much of that the caterer did, but baby, that spread.
That was a spread. That's a spread for your ass.
That spread looked beautiful. Okay. Teresa was cute. Her little dress was cute. Okay.
They all were cute.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about them all, but yeah. I like Marge. I'm getting a little tired of her hobo chic. I feel like everything is hobo chic with her. Melissa's outfit was so cute.
Oh, can we go back to the boat? When they were on the boat and Jackie had on her orange ensemble.
That was cute.
They were cute on that boat.
They were cute on the boat. They came ready for the yacht. They did come ready for the yacht. Brandy was pregnant during filming. Oh, well, Brandy was sure drinking during filming, but that ain't my business. Ooh. But can we talk about how Jennifer's dad was clowning her mom when she said when Jennifer told her mom, go ahead, go upstairs and get hair and makeup, and her dad was like, and change your clothes. But he but listen, the father did exactly what the mother says he did. He mumbled it.
Right.
And he laughed when Jennifer repeated it. He mumbled it. And then Jennifer repeated it, and then he giggled because it was funny to him. I said, see, now I see exactly that's what he does to her. But listen, Mama said, I don't care about my belly being out. That's in style now. Did you hear her Mama say that?
Sure did. I was here for it.
I said, I know that's right.
And I wanted her to come downstairs with her stomach out.
I ain't mad at her having the belly out. You better go on with be proud of your belly, Mama. But yeah, I said, okay, so now I see that the father does exactly what the mother says he does. Because remember, she said that y'all don't hear him because he mumbles it under his breath. She said that. And that's exactly what he did. He mumbled under his breath and change your clothes. And then
to your point, Jennifer heard it and repeated it. And repeated it. To y'all's point, she's so male identified. She's not going to see the other woman's point, which goes to Marge's point. You sitting up here. How the hell she interpreted that Marge was sleeping her way to the top? Marge never mentioned nothing about a damn promotion. Marge said she started a new job and she had an older boss who wanted to sleep with her.
Yep. We said you had stepped away to go get your dinner together. But yeah, we talked. But yeah, you're right. But that's what I said, the same thing. I said, ain't nobody say nothing. Like there was nothing that Marge said that should have given you that impression. Nothing.
That's what you interpreted. You interpreted women sleeping with their bosses as them trying to get to the top. No, how about this old ass man saw this young, pretty woman and wanted to have a go? and
this
you
young
flex
tenderoni.
power on her.
This young tenderoni. Yeah. So last but not least, we get to the tea, and they get to talking about moms. They talking about sex. Listen, now this might be for sensitive ears, so please don't be offended by what I'm getting ready to say. Y'all, you might want to go black screen. I know how you feel about these types of things. Listen, this is what I don't understand. Now, I'm not married, so you can interpret what I'm getting ready to say however you choose to. I do not understand married couples who do not engage in oral pleasure.
I mean, I wouldn't understand it myself.
I can come back for that.
I don't understand it. I don't. And because we heard that Jackie doesn't give, nor does her husband. So it's mutual. I mean, neither one of them do it, but I don't understand it.
Well, if they canceling each other out, then I don't have no say about it. But
Anyway, so yeah, but Teresa gets upset, and listen, I'll never feel sorry for Teresa. I have not felt sorry for Teresa at all this season, but in that moment, I felt for Teresa because I know that really did have to be hard.
Yeah,
and she did. I'm sure she came for two reasons. One, because she had to film the scene for the show, and two, I think she thought maybe she would be able to get through it because I'm sure that she could have begged off and said, listen, I just don't think I can do this. But I give her an A for effort because she tried. She really tried to get through that moment.
She really did.
They was wrong for splicing in all them flashback scenes with her mama. They know they was wrong for that.
But they were building a case for their star mule. That is what they were doing, trying to let everybody know how she felt. Mm-hmm. And I mean, look, I have a little bit of sympathy in this black heart of mine, but not a whole lot, because I'll be all the way honest. I have gotten to that point in my life where I'm going to protect my peace, my joy, and my happiness. So if I know that consciously that, now mind you, because I'm a free man now, so I can't speak about the military, but if I know consciously that I haven't gotten over somebody's death, I'm not going to something where it's going to trigger that emotion out of me. Even if I'm on a reality TV show, I'll let them know, like, just dock my pay for that episode. I can't do it. I can't put myself in that situation.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I would have had to just take the L on that one. Like whatever the fine is for me not coming to a scene. But I think Teresa thought she could do it. I don't think that was for sympathy. I really think she thought she could do it. I really do.
Really be. What I believe for you to not put thinking Teresa in the same damn sentence. Don't do that.
The way you started that, I knew something was coming. The way you said all right, y'all. So that is episode 7 and 8. It said to be continued. Teresa goes running out, and it said to be continued. Go ahead, y'all. I'll let you get your final word in, and then little baby get your final word, and then I got a couple of quick hot topics, and then we're gonna get on out of here.
The one thing that I want to bring, because I forgot to bring this up when we were talking about Jen's mother and father, where her father is very cunning. Mind you, again, we already know what type of background they have, but see, one thing that you got to watch, a key way of manipulating somebody is to remove them away from their support system. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't a conversation that they was coming to America. He made her come. So he pulled her away from her support system and made it to where she had to depend on him.
Absolutely.
And that goes back to what I was saying. I felt like the abuse was mental, emotional, and financial.
Right.
So these are things for the ladies out there. Pay attention to that. If you have someone, male or female, that's trying to pull you away from your support system to where you have no one or nothing to rely on, that's a red flag that you might want to pay attention to. That's all I got. Little baby.
We got something of nothing and nothing of something, and we got through this. And we moseying right on along. The food has been great this season.
Oh God, you okay? You're never gonna let the food go. I see.
I'm thinking little baby got something to add. That's all you got for this little baby.
Yeah, the food is great. Like, listen, the boat food. And y'all saw those lobster rolls,
Listen.
and they did not skimp.
No, it was good. All right. I'm sorry, y'all. I was getting hungry. I had a good little snack. So that was that. So we got a couple of quick hot topics. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there, and then we can speak on it, and then we're gonna get on out of here. So, first of all, Dr. Dre is a single man.
Oh, it's official.
Exactly. Like, I'll show my like, is that news?
Well, it's news over here because we done went through all of the chapters of this divorce, and we're not done yet.
Oh, I'm about to say because Nicole doesn't have her money.
Right, because there will be an epilogue, excuse me, to the divorce. Now, the judge has agreed, because they have agreed to the divorce. So the judge has agreed to sign off on the divorce, but they still have not settled the financial issue. So
I know that's right, Nicole. Get your money.
Yeah, it's over, but it ain't over.
Get your money, honey. Make him pay. There's
an update to the baby blue situation from yesterday. I just want to read you. He posted on his Twitter today. He said, "Thank you everyone for your thoughts and prayers. I'm still in ICU, but I'm on the road to recovery. The bullet traveled through my lungs." Ooh. Now, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was under heavy anesthesia when he wrote this, because he spelled through and lungs wrong. But I'm going to let you have it, baby blue. I'm going to let you have it. And it's stuck in my back. I have to learn to breathe and walk again. I have a great medical team here in the hospital. God got me, love, Blue. So he did post that today for his fans. And what we're finding out is that it was his cousin that was allegedly being robbed. And he tried to get the gun from the robber. I guess he thought he was bulletproof. I don't know. But I'm glad to hear the update. Yeah. We have an update on the homegoing services for the late, great DM of the X. On Saturday.
Give it to you. I just had to do that. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. Sunday, April the 24th, a Celebration of Life Memorial will stream on YouTube at 4 p.m. Eastern. It will be on DMX's official YouTube channel. So if you do not know or you are not subscribed, you may want to go ahead and subscribe to DMX's YouTube channel and set the notifications so that you will be in the front of the TV in your best black, DMX Rough Rider shirt. Go ahead, y'all.
Can we give a hand clap of praise to his family for that? Because I don't know if y'all caught it. It's going to be on his YouTube page, which means that he's going to get subscribers. People going to be watching. There's going to be some AdSense there. You know what, family? Come, y'all best to do that. Get your money.
Get your money. Def Jam ain't sending him no check.
Mm-hmm. And then on Sunday, April the 25th, his official homegoing ceremony will be live on BET from 2:30, at 2:30 p.m. So he getting a BET check too. Okay.
Y'all best to do that.
Attendance is restricted to family and close friends. The event is closed to the public. So that earlier thing that was sent out saying that they was gonna have this whole thing at the Barclays Center, somebody lied. They lied. That ain't what's going on. This was officially posted from the family. I'm telling you now, if you want the information, go to the Jasmine brand, because that's where I got this from. But these are the official arrangements for DMX. His family has posted this Saturday, April the 24th, which is this Saturday, in case you're not paying attention to the calendar, 4 p.m. on DMX's official YouTube channel. You will get a memorial. And then on Sunday at 2:30 on BET, there will be a homegoing celebration. Now, I do not anticipate this lasting as long as Reefa's, but you may want to have some snacks on standby. That's all I'm going to say. You may want to have some snacks on standby. I have not heard anything about arrangements for Black Rob. I'll keep you posted if I come across it, but honestly, I have not.
I wouldn't be surprised if Doodoo and went ahead and tried to fund the shit to make himself look good, seeing as to how he pulled his showings a while back, so he wasn't able to get all the help that he needed. And since he just started his brand new record company, I wouldn't be surprised if he did this as a goodwill of faith. Like, look, see, I take care of people. I wouldn't be surprised. And if that did happen, he probably gonna follow in the steps of DMX, but some way, somehow, he go get that money funneled into his account, and it's not going to Black Rob's family. You heard it here first.
Let me say this to y'all. For those of you, there's I don't even know why I started saying this, because I don't know how to tell y'all to find it. But on TikTok, you know, as you're scrolling, they do these things on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. Where they'll say, you'll have people who'll be like, oh, like this one lady on there, she worked at Barney's, and she talks about all of the housewives that she met while working at Barney's, and she rates them. You have people that have met the RuPaul queens, and you know that she rates them on, oh, they were nice, or they were ass, you know, they were bitches or whatever. So there was this thing on this lady that was going through all of the bad boy artists and exactly how Diddy cheated them out of their money. And there's like a part 1, a part 2, a part 3. And she talks about like the one, I only looked at like the first 2, but she talks about Mace, and she talks about Craig Mack, and she talks about Total. Like, but go ahead.
No, Taba is asking me who I'm talking about. So long story short, what I was saying is with Black Rob, if anything, Diddy is more than likely going to fund the feud and everything to make himself look good, because not only did he, you know, cheat him out of royalties and whatnot, but also when he was sick, because he actually had a kidney issue before this one that actually took him on to glory. They pulled his insurance.
What?
So Bad Boy, so he was insured by Bad Boy, and then they just pulled his insurance. So what I'm saying is I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy went ahead and took care of all this stuff to make himself look good, especially given the fact that he just started a brand new record label.
I did not know that they, oh, see, that's that dirty dog.
Well, Black Rob did an interview a while back and said that he had a kidney issue, and it was this whole thing about insurance, and he called and found out that they took him off the insurance policy of Bad Boy.
That's just dirty.
Yeah. But continue. Right. Continue.
Said, yeah, if Diddy does anything, he gonna make sure he get a point on the back end. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I know that hey, La Queen, a lot of us black folk are still mad at H&M. We have not forgotten about the monkey hoodie. Okay, let's just say we have not forgotten. But
I haven't.
I ain't forgotten, but I ain't never wear H&M anyway, so
no,
it wasn't a sacrifice for me, but it is what it is. But H&M has launched an incentive offering free suit rentals to males for 24 hours. So in the case of you need a suit to wear for an appointment, you need a suit to wear for a job interview, maybe you need a suit to wear for your own damn wedding, I don't know. But they have launched this situation to free suit rentals for 24 hours. Now, I mean, can we say a C for effort? Can we still be mad and just say a C for effort?
I can. Look, yeah. When you look, and Jules this past week had a little ad placement in they sales paper for a black-owned business. When we doing stuff like that, where you sitting here and you promoting African-American businesses to sit here and attempt to erase the bullshit that you try to pull over our heads, and it's not just the monkey one. There was also the Arab-looking child where it says, "I'm the bomb." That was also in that lineup. Like, no, y'all not finna play with me.
Yeah, so we just gonna keep scrolling. Okay. The murderer is reportedly on suicide watch. I don't give a fuck.
Is he really?
Yeah.
You know what? You know what? I hope this doesn't get your channel demonetized, but I wouldn't be me if I didn't say it. I would just say go ahead and throw in some shoestrings, some razor blades, and some battery acid and let him have his way. Oh, y'all just gonna get quiet. Okay, so I'm the bad guy here. Okay, whatever.
I mean, I don't listen. I'm morbid in my thinking, depending on what someone has done, but I don't know who y'all talking about. So
the guy that put his knee on
murderer.
him.
I mean, yeah, I mean, whatever y'all says, whatever.
Look, all I'm gonna say is this: he did not care about that African American life. I don't care about his European American life.
I wasn't even gonna mention it. The only reason why I even mentioned it was to tell y'all I don't give a fuck. Like that's the only reason why I brought it up, was to be clear that I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I'm with Really B.
You know.
Well, right.
So we're gonna end on. Okay.
I got one thing. Remember how I was telling you that there was a day that was being pushed around because the 24th.
I know you're talking about.
For my ladies, and especially for those of you who have children, if you can stay in the house on that day, please do so. If you can't, holler at it's Tabitha. She can show you a good website or a good place to get you a nice little stun gun to protect yourself, get you some mace, have you a knife or something on you, because I've said it, there's a certain group of people that April tends to be the month that they go out and do all this mass crazy stuff, and this is falling right in line with that. And for that, I don't want any of the ladies, regardless of what your ethnicity is, I don't want y'all to fall victim to that. And I definitely don't want the children to fall victim to that. So if you can keep yourself and or your children in the house on the 24th, not to say that you're scared, but if you can, please do. If you have enough funds within the next 24 hours to get you a stun gun, if you ain't already got one, some mace, a nice little switchblade or something to have on your person.
Let me say this. If you don't know what he's talking about, I'm not going to go into it on detail here, but you can go check Erica De Niro TV. She has posted a few things on her Instagram, and I believe she spoke on it. I couldn't tell you which she doesn't do lives. I couldn't tell you which video it was.
I didn't know she spoke about it, really? Oh, I'm late.
Erica De Niro TV.
I gotta go back and watch it.
If you go look, hold on. I don't want to give credit to the wrong YouTuber. Hold on. I'm almost certain it was Erica De Niro TV, but hold on. Let me look at my IG and I could give you a better idea and make sure that I'm right. Hold on. ERIC Erica De Niro TV. Yeah. If you go to Erica De Niro TV and you go back just a couple of posts, she has something up there.
Okay.
Now you can take it from there. Like those of you who like to Google and research, you can take it from there. She has some stuff posted. Like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into that here, but you can definitely go look it up and do your research, and you can act accordingly. Listen, there's going to be a perfectly good memorial service streaming down to the YouTube for DMX on Saturday. You ain't got to go nowhere. You can Uber Eats because you bring your snacks. You ain't got to go nowhere. Like, that's real talk. That's real talk. So,
but also if you do Uber Eats, DoorDash, or whatever, still have something on you when you go to the door.
I keep I always got that.
Okay, don't go to the door without something.
Right. Okay. Now, last two things, and then we're gonna get out of here, you guys. I'm gonna say this about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. The Morgan, I saw your comment earlier, and that's why I highlighted it so I remember to speak on it when I came back here. The reason why I said what I said about in the long run, Potomac is going to suffer for Monique leaving is for what I'm getting ready to say about the Real Housewives of Atlanta. Allegedly, and I know y'all have heard this before, but allegedly producers are going to reach out to Phaedra, or are reaching out, or have reached out to Phaedra to bring her back. There's been a huge, they want to do this huge shakeup for next season because the ratings took a huge hit. I say all that to say this. When Phaedra left the show, most people were happy to see Phaedra go. They were upset. They understood why she left, that whole lie, the seriousness of the lie, where the lie could have gone. Yes, the 24th, Tabitha. Where the lie could have gone. All of those things. And I was one of those people. I'm still one of those people, actually. I don't want to see Phaedra come back. But
if she come back, I'm not reviewing the show next season.
Right. But fast forward 4 seasons. Now, people conveniently have amnesia and don't want to remember all that happened for Phaedra to get fired in the first place, and they just want her back. And so I say all that to say, no, I don't think there's going to be an immediate effect to Potomac. I think this season they're going to do pretty decent. I think curiosity is going to be there. They picked up a lot of fans last season. It looks like from the trailer, they bringing it from day one. They giving us something. But I do think if it's 2 seasons, people are gonna be like, damn, I ain't like Monique, but the show was better. I'm not talking about the Monique fans, because the people who like Monique. I'm talking about the people who either didn't like Monique or thought she should have left the show or should have got fired, whatever. Because what's going to happen is 2 or 3 years from now, when the storylines, in your opinion, get stale, or they're not giving you enough, or whatever, then people are going to start. And what we always do is we always get nostalgia. That doesn't mean the show was better with Monique. It's that nostalgia that you're going to say, yeah, I think Monique might have went too far, but see, it's going to be that but. See, right now, there's no but. Right now is, I'm glad Monique gone. And da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. But in 2 or 3 years from now, it's going to be that but at the end. And maybe not for you, Morgan, but I'm saying for a lot of people, that's what it's going to be. Now, for somebody like myself, I didn't start off a Monique fan. Contrary to popular belief. You can go back and look at my old reviews. I did not start off a Monique fan. I became a Monique fan. But again, that's my opinion. Now, I don't know how you feel, y'all, or even Lil Baby, how you feel about the nostalgia hindsight situation. I don't know how you feel.
All I'm gonna say is that is a couple things. One, Andy was on Wendy Williams, and he even said that production had to start and stop times throughout the season, which impacted the show. 1, 2.
That's true.
The producers were horrible. Not to say that the ladies did or didn't bring it, but a lot of this falls on the producers. 3, some of the women were not able to have concrete storylines because it might have, like with Candy. Say what you want. If they would have showed her reaching out to Bravo execs, getting these internships and all this other stuff, that would have been something good to have. But of course, you had Portia doing Black Lives Matter. So it was a conflict of interest, apparently, allegedly, which is why we got so little from her. And some of them not showing up to work. So all of that is just like, eh. And one other thing I want to say is, first and foremost, I'm still mad Portia there. Why? Because Portia has been lying consistently since she's been on the show. Does that remind another person from Real Housewives of Atlanta that came on the show lying about her due date? And has been lying ever since?
And that's what people forget. People forget that Phaedra lied from day one, because I still don't believe that Phaedra didn't know Apollo was out there doing what Apollo was doing. And for as crazy as the chick is that wrote the book, what's her name, Angela? As crazy, I don't agree with her politics. I think she a little, left of center. But I don't believe she lied about Phaedra and Apollo and all of them being in it together. Because here's the reality. Here's the reality. You went to jail. You a crook. Apollo went to jail. He a crook. The only person that walked away scot-free was the attorney. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that Phaedra wasn't a part of that. The fact that, like you said, Phaedra came on the show lying about her damn due date because she didn't want people to think that she was having premarital sex. I mean, let's just call a spade a spade. Let's just call a spade a spade.
But has been lying ever since. and even went so far as to push a narrative through silly little Portia about rape. And then also, let me say this about Portia. You willingly went with this storyline and lied on the reunion, said, no, I asked you if this happened. No, sweetheart, you accused her of something. You ain't asked her anything, but you try to clean it up. And then not just that, just recently, Portia went so far as to actually, let me get before I get ahead of myself. Between you and Shamia saying that she got lipo and y'all know someone, you do realize that violates HIPAA for you to be sitting here disclosing something.
No, it doesn't.
It wasn't?
No. The violation to HIPAA is the people in the medical field. If the nurse from Marlo's medical office called Shamia, the nurse violated HIPAA. Shamia didn't.
Okay. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah, but no, that doesn't violate HIPAA.
Okay, but also you have Portia accusing Marlo of drinking and taking other stuff while she's on medication, recovering from her lipo. You accuse Candy of wanting to, give you drugs and rape you. Now you accusing Marlo of something. Where it's just like, did you not learn from the first time?
And my thing is this. Here's what I thought was stupid. Marlo was like, I have had lipo, but your timeline is wrong. Like, yeah, I had it. And Marlo doesn't seem like the kind of person that will lie about. Like, I feel like if Marlo had it before they went to New Orleans, Marlo would have said, yeah, I had lipo. I didn't even see the purpose in that whole, I don't even think I talked about it in my review because I ain't see the purpose in that whole conversation. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there that's what's allegedly. And then we found out today that Fallon has announced that her husband will be divorcing. Maybe that's why we didn't get a lot of Fallon this season. Maybe that's why they cut a lot of their scenes. Maybe they stopped filming. Maybe that had a lot to do with why we ain't seen Miss Fallon. I don't know. Maybe we'll see a lot of Miss Fallon next season because she got a storyline now. I don't know. Let me say what happened.
I said, well.
Last but not least, and we're gonna get out of here I gotta give the slow clap once again to Miss Stacey Abrams. I don't know if you guys have been catching all of the clips of Miss Stacey Abrams eviscerating Congress yesterday when she testified before them in reference to voter suppression. They came at her in their minds with everything they had. They thought they was going to trip her up. They thought they was going to get her tongue tied. They thought they was even going to get a rise up out of her. But no, ma'am, Pam, she kept her cool. She kept her calm, and she made them look like total idiots. I don't know if y'all have seen any of the clips, but they have been circulating all over the U of the tube. Check out MSNBC, they show clips from Morning Joe. Check out Brian Taylor Cohen, I believe. He's a YouTuber who does a lot of political stuff. He showed a couple of clips. Hell, I even saw a clip on Forbes. Lindsey Graham tried to come for her. Ted Cruz tried to come for her. Senator Kennedy tried to come for her. And every single time, she made them look foolish without even raising her voice. So once again, the slow clap to the superwoman that is Stacey Abrams. I really, really need y'all. Matter of fact, if y'all go over to Tabitha's Instagram, she put a clip up there as well. But yeah, they're floating all around. They're floating all around. But yeah. Yeah. They're floating all around. But yeah, they were like, so are you saying that the laws are racist? Yeah, that's what I said. And then he said, well, what part are racist? And she started spewing that thing off so fast, he had to tell her, can you please slow down? The sound system ain't that good here. Nah, she just, because see, what you thought she was going to do was go for the low-hanging fruit and talk about the fact that people can't get water in line. That's what you thought she was going to talk about, right? No. She started talking about the hours of operation. She started talking about how you shorten, the days for absentee. She gave you the meat and potatoes. Lindsey Graham tried to come at her once again thought she was gonna say one thing, and she went totally left. And Lindsey Graham was looking real stupid. Ted Cruz tried to tell her, "You still refuse to concede that you lost the election to the governor, for the governor. And I mean, will you concede that you lost now?" She was like, "That's not what I said. What I said," he said, "You said that the election was stolen from you." She said, "That's not what I said. What I said was that the election was stolen from the Georgia voters. That's what I said." And he said, "Well, will you concede that you lost fair and square?" She said, "Well, this is what I'm gonna say. Based on the laws at the time, yeah, I lost. The problem I have is with the laws. The laws were racist and took the vote away from Georgia voters and disenfranchised majority African American voters. So yeah, that's what I said." I was like, you know what? They tried, y'all. They tried. But anyway, y'all go find them clips. They are there. You know, I ain't gonna play it over here, but listen, y'all go find them clips. But I'm gonna end on that note. Once again, thank you, little baby, and y'all for being here. I know this one got a little long, but we had 2 episodes to get through, and then, you know, I had to hit my hot topics. But I want to thank y'all for being here. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all all. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Y'all gonna get some reviews tonight. I don't know what though. Y'all gonna get some, probably Dallas, Delilah. I don't know about Married at First Sight. Listen. Just let y'all know how much I love y'all, because I am pushing through this Married at First Sight bullshit. Okay, I'm pushing through it. But anyway, that's it. That's all. I will see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Bye.